So, in like, how do we return to that? This is a knowledge, and this is wisdom that has been around for the ages. This is philosophy and real life experiences of a people. These things really were already understood prior to enslavement in the Americas. This is already knowledge and wisdom that was obtained in African culture. And I want to speak from the African American perspective of the situation right now, because this is how it's coming to me right now. At one point, it was already understood that some of the most powerful people, male or female, were attracted to the same sex, and that was because they truly were divinely able to spiritually understand fluidly and flow with the divine feminine energy and the sacred masculine, expressing it in their consciousness, and yes, physically too. The only thing that they had to do to keep the generations going with the ancestor knowledge and wisdom was come together for certain ritualistic reasons to bring the children together, if it has been already seen through divination or a vision or prophecy or whatever have you, that these two people were supposed to come together and have children, then yes, that is what happened. And this is the kind of knowledge that has not been brought to the surface, because I'm going to say it, we as people of color have been in America so long, and we have kind of gotten used to the way that they do things here and what they believe religiously. Whereas in Africa, you have religious concepts and mostly spirituality, and it is more of a gumbo of wisdom that has already been discovered by the high ascended masters and those people out of that land source. So when we're getting back to today, and these children are coming up, and they're 9 and 10 and 15 or 24 almost, all the way to 24, and they have to go through being hated for just being a human being, and they are coming in the age where what they're really supposed to be learning is unconditional love and oneness, and a lot of people are not expressing that. And people who are talking about being Christians or being Christ conscious people, and then on the back end you're still not being loving towards people who are different than you. It's not that you have to agree with it or understand it, because it's okay that you don't understand how a woman can be attracted to a woman, or how a male or female wants to change genders. It's okay that you may not understand it, or understand it really. But you have to be able to still have love enough to say, something, I don't get it, but something, I get oneness. I get that we all have different perspectives, and we come here because we're supposed to gain different perspectives. We're supposed to learn from each other. Even the most evil people who do the most wicked things, murderous things, torturous things, such as oppress us, such as put their hands on us. Yeah, we're here to experience these things so that it still helps us to learn about unconditional love. And even for those people who do those things, they are to learn unconditional love and what it means to show love and be healed from those things mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Everything has a meaning. So when you're a child, you're already coming into the world to reincarnate. You're already coming here. This has already been discussed, that you're going to go through these things like oppression or an abusive household or whatever the path is, based off of maybe some of the things in your past life that you have already done. So don't get me wrong. I'm not about to be talking about LGBTQ plus children being a victim. If anything, these children are born into the world to teach people what it means to be connected to the source and showing love from the divine feminine and the sacred masculine and expressing it in its wholeness, including physically. LGBTQ plus children are some of the most loving children that you will ever come across because they know that they are different. They know that they, are going to be judged and made fun of or go through something. So that's why in their heart they are already born able to know. And just like any other child is born to know, to show love, and to be spiritually free to experience life. Some of you don't even give your kids a chance to come into knowing what they want to spiritually practice. You have to already start baptizing them. Don't be wrong. I believe in sacred ritual, and I believe that baptism is a healthy, sacred act. But still give a child an opportunity and, to start to discover themselves. Like if I have children, I don't want to make them believe as I believe. What I would give them the option to do is, do your research on each and every religion you want to, read about. You don't have to practice it unless you want to. Other than that, you don't have to believe that there's a God at all. You know why? Because all you have to believe in is yourself. Love yourself. Be your authentic self. Just have respect for other people's beliefs. Have respect for how other people's perspectives are. That is what I would want to teach them. And that is what is to really be taught in children at a young age, no matter who they are. So that when they come across a child that they see is gay or transgendered or whatever they're doing, black, white, whatever they are, whatever is going on in their experience, whatever is different to the child, that is when the child itself can already know that they are being taught to have respect for other people's differences. Just like within our community, people think that we don't respect the fact that people cannot understand that we are, attracted to the same sex, or that we change, or we feel that we're not the right gender, or we feel that we should just be non-binary. Some people don't get that, but they still have respect for it. And they don't disrespect us. They have conversations with us. And we are all coming into the umbrella of oneness, right? So that is what you have to start teaching these kids at a very young age. Is love. For those who are calling themselves Christians and don't even know what it means to be Christ-like, this figure, and really this is a metaphor, to come into really Christ consciousness. When you are to come into Christ consciousness, you are learning to do what the Christed figure did, which was loved unconditionally, went through oppression, went through the hatred, but learned from the experience and taught love and didn't judge and forgave and even knew that people around him was not right and was going to kill him and crucify him. But this is a metaphor. To come into Christ consciousness is to be able to realize and overrise that no matter what different perspectives of life people are coming from, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we are to reconnect with our true nature, our true self, which is really coming to the unconditional love that God is. God is love. Whatever you see God as, it is about love. It is about being able to see unfortunate acts happen in front of you and see the mistakes that others around you and what your own mistakes are, and be able to have compassion for them. With children, you have to show compassion to these kids. You have to show compassion to these teenagers. You have to show compassion to younger adults that are different. And just because you feel that it is different, it does not give you the right to mistreat them, to judge their life, to tell them that basically you would feel comfortable if they didn't be themselves, in other words. Some of you have the audacity to come out your mouth and say, oh, they are so out there with it. What do you mean, out there with it? You would rather them oppress who they are to satisfy your ego, to make you comfortable. You can create a podcast and express yourself. You can post up your hip hop expression. You can post up your art expression. You can express yourself with a woman. You can create children with a woman. But this person can't express their truth in their life and be themselves. And you haven't yet to grasp that something is a little bit off with that. It's okay not to be able to get how a person is attracted to that. Do you think I sit in my home and think about how can a straight man be attracted to a woman? Do I sit in here and think about how the infinite creator has created all of us to be different and question like why? No, you wouldn't do that. This is our very nature. We're not supposed to be born with everything being the same. How would you even be able to learn different perspectives to expand your consciousness if you don't come to the grips that all of us are connected to one source giving us expression of itself in many different forms? And through the children, these children are coming as reincarnated adults, living a life to mean something to them. Give them the opportunity to experience life. Yes, make sure that they're safe. Yes, make sure that they are loved. Yes, make sure that they're not taken in too much at a young age. I'm not saying that these kids have to hurry up and get gender reassignment surgery. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that they have to hurry up and be exposed to, everything that adults are into. And I'm going to address it before I end this video. You are all worried about your children having a book read to them by someone's their profession. And I'm not going to get too detailed on this. I think we all know what I'm talking about. There is no difference between a drag queen, and there's no difference between a drag queen and someone coming dressed up as a cartoon character. To be honest, I find it weird that adults would pay people that they don't know like that, and if they do know them, for a grown-ass person to come dressed as a big giant-ass baby with a Newport hanging out the back of their ear, a gold chain, and then after the party is over with, you more than likely are going to see that person lift their mask up, hit that Newport, get in the car, and be like, "Mommy, I just saw that Coco Melon take his head off and smoke a cigarette." So at the end of the day, you're going to look at that child and be like, "Oh, baby, that's, this is just, someone dressed as Coco Melon. You got to explain it to them." And you will move on about your day. It's the same with drag. It's a profession. It's an entertainment. So when they come, if you don't want your child to be seeing that, okay, that's okay. I'm not saying that's a problem. But don't come with your hate. Don't come start throwing hate and making it seem like it's the worst thing in the world. Because to be so honest, everything we do, we don't have the right answers for. But there's levels to this. It's grown-ass men that start telling their sons they're going to take them to a strip club when they get older. It's grown people playing all this hip-hop and rap around their kids, talking about booties and other explicit content, playing it around their kids. There's a lot going on that these kids are exposed to. A drag queen is the last thing you need to be worried about. These kids are exposed to music and songs that are going to really, influence them. But at the end of the day, they have to learn. They have to experience, just like you. We're running out of time here. But, the more of what I'm saying, and I'm going to get to a part 2 podcast that I'm going to do based off of my experience coming up as a, gay youth. That one's going to be called Divine Protection in the Streets. But I just wanted to do this portion first on these children, because LGBTQ children need to be loved. And everybody needs to show one love and come to the realization that no matter how different we are, all we have to do is just love and listen to each other and hear each other out and keep it moving. All right? I love you all, and I pray you all come into, love. One.